Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Do I Want to Know podcast. So for everybody that doesn't know, this is affiliated with the Sport Board Network. You're here from YouTube. You just looked at the Sport Board. You maybe searched up YouTube, Do I Want to Know? Or maybe you looked at our new Instagram account, which is new, Do I Want to Know Pod, at Do I Want to Know Pod on Instagram for all of the latest updates. But for maybe some of you that didn't know, what is this show? What is Do I Want to Know? Do I Want to Know is a show that's centered around pop culture, sports, and relationships. We bring on a new guest every week. Sport media students, athletes, family, friends, people that you want to see. We bring them on this podcast and we 40 to 45 minutes have a sit-down conversation and we get really in-depth with them on what they want to know. But for many of you who maybe don't want to watch the whole podcast and have other things to do, we appreciate your time. So what we've done, in the description below of the episode, there are time codes. Those time codes link you to certain parts of the show. So let's say you want to watch Open Book, a great segment. You go 30 minutes and you click on that and you're watching Open Book. Let's say you want to watch sports, go on the 10-minute mark. There it is right for you. So that's what we did for you. So if you appreciate that, you go down there and look. But before we get into the guest and who is on the show today, I want to introduce somebody really special, the co-host of this beautiful show, the Stockton to my Malone, the Sean Kemp to my Gary Payton, the D-Wade to my LeBron. Here it is, all the way from Etobicoke, Ontario, Mitchell Cairns. What's up, my brother?
What's up, man? Wow, I like the intro, man. But D-Wade?
I don't know.
I'm a LeBron fan, man.
D-Wade did win a chip before LeBron, though.
True. Okay, but still, I'm the LeBron fan. Next time, I want to be a LeBron James, all right?
All right, say less. I got you next time. But, Mitch.
Yeah.
Who do we have today? Some guy named Poc? What?
Yeah, we have Thomas Pocrnic. And for those who don't know him, he is a great guy. He is a first-year sports media student at Ryerson with us. And I'm actually really excited for this show because while we're at Ryerson, we talk sports with Poc. We talk about, our assignments and everything, but we have never got to know Poc on a personal level. So what I'm looking forward to, especially on this show, we'll talk about sports. We'll talk about that too at the beginning. What I'm really looking forward to is the open book segment, the personal segment, and the pop culture, because I want to get to know Poc more besides sports. He's one of the owners and operators of an account called Catch the Blitz that has 80K followers. It's all about football in the NFL. It is absolutely beautifully run by Poc. So we're not going to talk about Catch the Blitz that much in this show. But again, I want to know as much as I can about Poc through the personal, the open book, and the pop culture, man. What about you, Marc? You excited?
Exactly. Mitch and I started this to sort of get something new for the audience. We see a lot of sports podcasts out there. We see a lot of relationship podcasts, but we want to sort of mend it together and make sort of like a beautiful symphony, if you will, and understand the guests in a way that hasn't been. You saw maybe Alyssa's episode, a great guest.
Oh,
and Botelho, great guest.
Both of them, amazing guests.
Exactly. And I think we're going to keep on that trend with Thomas Pocrnic. So let's get right to it.
Do I wanna know is the question I might ask. I'm diving in deep, it's like a blast from the past. New guests every week, is that enough for your ass? Cause these men's have us chill, you best grab a coat. You can't handle the questions, you best leave the show. It's Mitchell Cairns and Marc Vicioso, the two kingpins, like Chewy and Solo.
And now, to welcome our third ever guest on Do I Want to Know, we got our boy, Thomas Pocrnic. What's up?
There you go. Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys having me on today. And honestly, I'm a little offended that I'm third guest on. But you know what? It is what it is. And let's get to it today. Thanks for having me on.
So for people that don't know about you, Poc, so you obviously attend Ryerson Sport Media. This is Sport Media Month, if you don't know. May is Sport Media students.
I did not know that. So
exactly. So maybe it's a little marketing team, but you know what I mean. So for people that don't know, you are a part of Catch the Blitz, and you are a co-founder of Catch the Blitz. So if you want to go and explain what Catch the Blitz is to the audience to start off, I'll give you the floor for the first couple minutes.
Yeah, so Catch the Blitz is pretty much an Instagram account that we've sort of are trying to work our way towards transforming into a media company. that pretty much just covers the NFL and, 365 days a year, everything surrounding the NFL, whether it be free agency, game day, draft, everything. And it's a community that sort of mixes, whether it be graphics or breaking news, it sort of just mixes everything from graphic design to sports content and journalism into one platform. And we've amassed a pretty big following, which, I never thought that would have happened when I
80K.
first.
80,000
Yeah,
for people that
so,
don't know.
mhm.
80,000
That was
followers. That's no
a
small
recent
feat. No
milestone,
small
so.
feat.
Yeah, and it's been going really well. But like I said, it's pretty much, in short, just a community for people that share a passion for football to come and whether it's get their daily dose of news or come debate in our comments section about whether Dak Prescott's better than Carson Wentz. But it's pretty much just a community for football fans.
That sounds beautiful. But
No Cowboy stuff.
we obviously know you're a Dolphins fan, and we know you love Tua, and we love that. People that don't know,
Got if you can see there,
Dan
Marino
Marino's in the
corner.
background.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. So
Dolphins
we
fan.
know this. We know you're a Dolphins fan. We know you have Catch the Blitz. We know you like sports. But the reason we brought you on today and what we talked about in the intro was we want to know you.
Oh,
I
really?
feel like there's a part of you, like we know like a half a Poc, and then there's like we're making a circle.
No, like
we're at a semicircle
You're
right now.
just peeling back the layers
Hawk,
slowly.
I
like an onion.
honestly don't know you on like a personal level. Like we talked before, like we've done our, but I don't know you. I don't know anything.
I wouldn't
Culture.
go to say that for you don't know me on a personal level, but
Well, not like,
Exactly.
but I mean
Come
a
on,
personal
Mitch.
level. I mean like your personal life. Like we never
Oh.
talk about like other stuff. Like me and Mark have a more personal level than
Yeah.
you and I do, and I
That's 'cause
want to
you guys-
gain that with you, bro.
you share your workout bonds and your
Exactly.
Rocky bonds.
Yeah,
Well, that's more
if you
Mark
guys
and
don't
Frankie.
know,
but-
Pac and I got when we're at Ryerson, Tuesdays are our day to work out at the max. Is that right, Pac?
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I've completely just fallen off a cliff ever since
man.
our Tuesdays have ended in terms of my
Exactly.
motivation and my commitment. So
But,
Nah,
but
man,
Mitch,
I'm still going hard.
that was
Mitch
good. Good for
wears
you.
his heart on his sleeve. We all know this.
Yeah.
But we want to get this podcast started.
Yeah.
So we have 3 questions for you and an open book segment. But the open book segment we'll explain later. But I'm going to throw it to Mitch to
Alright,
ask
man.
you the first question that we got.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, kind of like how everyone, when they come into university, especially in sports media, they used to play a sport, correct? Remember you played hockey, right?
Yeah, I played hockey. I played soccer as well growing up.
So, a question that we think that a lot of people have gone through is talk about putting away hockey. Like, what I mean putting it away is like stop playing at your high level and focusing more on universities up in school, because a lot of people, what they do is because either they're not good enough to play at a higher level or they want to focus more on school, they put away their favorite sport. For instance, I put away basketball. Mark put away basketball. Our producer, Frank the Tank, put away football. And we know you put away soccer and hockey. So just talk about putting away hockey. How did that make you feel? Do you still even play hockey to this day? Like,
So that's a great question because it is a big deal, really, especially if you grow up playing that one sport your entire life. So I started off playing hockey from a very young age. I loved it. I was playing rep by the age of 7. And I stuck with the same team for pretty much my whole career. I played for the Vaughan Rangers, and that's the only team I played for from when I was 7 years old to my last season when I was 17. So it was a big deal stepping away. And it's not just, the on ice, the competitiveness, but I think it's a lot of, and you guys can attest to this too, playing sports, but it's kind of sort of the friendships that you make along the way. And of course, a lot of my closest friends to this day are still from the hockey team, but it's not the same when you're not seeing them 3-4 times a week and getting out on the ice. So I definitely miss it a lot. And I think what is something that I really felt like I was almost robbed, and what was worse for me is, I'll put in a Michael Jordan reference here because The Last Dance is, of course, the finale's airing tonight. My last dance, if you were to call it that, it didn't really go as planned. I hurt my shoulder with about 2 months left in the season, and I ended up just never having that sort of last game. So that was tough for me. But in terms of now, going into first year university, focusing more on my school, as Mitch said, I still think that it's important to, sort of find times to just take a break. Through the winter months, me and my buddies would go play on the outdoor rink maybe once every 2 weeks, and we still play in a league, which is not really as competitive once a week. But yeah, it's definitely a big adjustment.
Exactly. But when you sort of like you come off, like what you said, it was a beautiful analogy with the last dance and everything. With that shoulder injury, I think that's sort of the thing that I miss, especially the most. Like for me, when I still play basketball like with my friends and this and that, and like I still want to train, and I want like hopefully one day like train to try and make the Ryerson team some point in the 4-year career. But it's just sort of like that thing. Like I can attest to that. The freshman 15 is a thing if people don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like you know, like okay, maybe Mitch doesn't know because he's eating parfaits and fruits all the time.
Marc, before you do that, bro, people that knew me, because again, if you watch the last podcast, you heard that I went to another university before Ryerson. The people know me from that university. I put on 25 pounds my first year.
Solid muscle.
Solid.
Yeah, okay. All fat. And bro, I don't know if we'll do this, but maybe we'll show a photo of what I look like.
Yeah, we're not doing that. I'm joking.
Well, maybe we'll see. But yeah, but like that's the reason why I started working out as hard as I was, because I could not recognize myself when I looked in the mirror. And that really scared like the
motivation right there.
And it's the main thing. Like you play hockey, obviously, so you know the skating, those drills. Like you don't realize those Sunday practices, those Wednesday practices, but it kept you in a routine. You know,
exactly.
And finding that routine, especially in school, is important because once you're out of routine and you're out of sync, you sort of just fall over the place, and like you're watching YouTube videos at 4 a.m. You know, watching Joe Rogan. Exactly. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, and you make a great point. You miss the little things like, you know, practice. Like you can really never lose touch with the sport. You can play whatever, pick up on the weekends or shinny on a certain night, but you miss that hustle, I guess is what I'm saying. And any amount of hours playing, you know, road hockey or just shinny or beer league, they'll never get you back into that hustle mode. And I think that's really a big transition from playing, you know, competitive minor league sports to just sort of moving on. You know, you're in university now and it's just whatever, co-op at the MAC or just a local beer league or something.
Exactly. So definitely, and putting it away is a tough issue. And I'm glad that you could open up with us about, because a lot of people experience it, as we said before, and it's a real thing. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to transition to the second question we have. So we focused on sports right now, and that was a big part of your life. But now we want to focus on, we want to get who you are, you know? So I was thinking, when me and Mitch, we have these, and Frankie we have these pre-production meetings, and we're like, what do we want to ask our guests? And for you, I was like, I got to think of something, a good question, because I want to ask you about movies. But then I'm like, but like, is movies too little? And then I want to ask you about music. And then I don't know if I want to ask you about music. But then I like Breaking Bad, and I want to ask you about that. So I wanted to put them all into perspective here. So you have a weekend to yourself, let's say, okay? It's Friday night. You come home. It's snowstorm outside. Nice December.
Not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. You're at home. You're just chilling, right? Your parents are out for the weekend. You can't invite anybody over. It's just you. All right? And you can pick one movie, one album, and one TV series. I want to know what you're going to choose. Yeah. So first, I'll ask you about the movie. What's the movie that's going to be on that Friday night?
Oh, movie. I want to say The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Like there's a couple of hard choices for me.
I went superhero. Okay.
And they're across different genres too.
Yeah.
I'm really into anything Will Ferrell, and I think his movie The Other Guys, I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes.
That is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I think The Dark Knight just has this sort of like rewatch value.
Exactly.
That is just incredible. And like I can watch that movie time and time again, and I just enjoy it just as much as I did the first time I watched it.
And The Dark Knight, for a lot of people that don't know, it's The Dark Knight was sort of that first foray back into the Joker. And Heath Ledger, you watched 2019's The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, but that 2008 Heath Ledger Joker, like you can literally just watch the scenes of him and you're going to be entertained,
like
right?
He makes the movie. I always say that. And Mitch said when I mentioned Dark Knight, superhero movie, of course it is Batman, but I just think because of how good Heath Ledger's in that movie, and there's so much underlying meaning and different plot lines going on, that I just think it's one of those, yes, it's a superhero movie, but it just feels like so much more. So for movie, I definitely go with The Dark Knight.
And Chris Nolan, amazing director as well. So you watch The Dark Knight, you have that Friday, you watch The Dark Knight.
Marc, what's yours? I want to know your movie.
My movie.
I know you're the
Rocky,
movie.
Rocky too. Rocky
I
too
want
for
to know
sure.
your movie, bro.
If I'm going on a Friday
I
night,
agree with you. I think it's Rocky.
Friday night with the boys. You
Uncut
know what?
Gems?
Friday night, if I'm gonna be putting on a movie, it's probably got to be freaking Rocky 4.
I always say that it's the best Rocky at all.
Rocky
I love it.
4. If for anybody that doesn't know, of course I'm a Rocky fan. You know, Rocky's the poster's right over there. I don't want to move the camera, but Rocky is like it's a serious movie. It's very like determined, motivated movie. Rocky 4, it's like you watch the first Rocky, but then you take a trip of acid, and then you're like, I'm in the 80s, and then all of a sudden there's a big Russian man coming after me, and he killed my best friend, and I have to make a decision to fight him in his home country of Russia. Like, you can't get that anywhere else.
Wow.
I always said that. When I heard Marc loves Rocky, I said it's got to be Rocky 4.
Gotta be Rocky.
So now it's Saturday night. Maybe you're having a little pizza pie, you're having a little pasta fagioli, you have a little wine next to you, and then you're like, I want to put on a nice, get my record player out and play an album. What album are you going to, brother?
See, I'm not a huge music buff. And honestly, it just depends how I'm feeling because I'm all over the place in terms of genres.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like. I'm a big fan of Views from Drake. I think that's some of his
best.
Really?
And I think that album has like a little bit of everything that you like with Drake.
I'm glad you talked about that, especially because I've been going over with a lot of my friends lately. Like in COVID times, I'm driving around with my friends, right? And we're listening to a lot of tracks, and then you listen to Drake, and I think the main thing about Drake that makes him so accessible and relatable is that, okay, you have Mr. T, like he's just the 90s, you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna, or the 80s, you're not gonna look at Mr. T at anything else other than the 80s. Or you look at sort of guys like, it's not their fault, but like Tupac, he's the 90s because he never had the chance to actually like transition into the 2000s and 2010 rap scene. But then you look at Drake, and he's been able to transition so much within his career and go with the flow. I think if you look at Drake's career at the end of the day, you're going to see that longevity and that ability to switch with the tone. Like you listen to his last album, Dark Lane Demo Tapes, you're going to be like, wow, that's amazing British drill music, and it's like a different vibe. Then you listen to Take Care, you're like, geez, I'm in my feels. And then you listen to Views, and I think, as you said, Views turn 6 upside down. It's a 9 now.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like it's just classic stuff. It's reminiscent of Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I do think it's one of his albums where he sort of has a little bit of everything, and that's what I like. Brings me back to like my young, like grade 9, grade 10 days too.
Exactly.
So
what year was that? What year did it come out?
I'm pretty sure it was 2016.
16, yeah, I think.
Maybe Frankie can fact check at the end. If we don't know, he's listening to this, but we're gonna have another segment with him. Frankie's gonna come on
later in the show.
Maybe gonna put a little fact check on. I think it was 2016.
Yeah.
But Mitch, what do you like, brother?
I'm like Pac, man. I'm all over the place, man.
He's listening to like some
big
weird
chain
stuff.
Smokers guy.
Well, like I'm in an EDM phase right now, which a lot of people hate. A lot of people hate it. I don't know an actual album, but I agree with Views as a good album. I can't
just go with Tayo Cruz and then just call it a day.
I don't listen to Tayo Cruz. That I will say, I don't listen to Tayo Cruz. That stuff was like throwback, like what 2010
Tayo Cruz.
Yeah, probably 2010.
Dynamite.
That's the only song I know by him too. So that says it all.
I think I'm gonna go with.
Mitch doesn't know albums.
Mitch, it's
okay.
Know music. I don't know albums. I can't think of albums.
Okay. I would go with
same boat here.
I would go with
the same boat as Mitch.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like I don't know much about albums, but I gotta say I like music from Drake, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye West. I forget the album. I think it's his best. I forget what it's called, like the Dark Fantasies or. Yeah,
Dark Fantasy is the one with the red cover. The Miko, big fan of it.
Miko, yep. That's what we're listening to on leg days. The Miko, I know that. And
exactly.
And then of course you guys gotta know Mitch with the Chainsmokers. Big fan of the Chainsmokers.
Yeah, so big fan. All right. So Friday night we had The Dark Knight on. We watched Christopher Nolan's Foray. We had The Joker. We had Christopher Nolan. Saturday night you had your pasta fagioli, your pizza pie, and you listened to a little bit of Drake. Now it's Sunday and you're gonna watch one TV series. What are you watching right now?
Oh, like I feel like it could be such an easy answer. And it is between two shows.
I bet you I can guess them.
Okay, I'll let you guess.
One is The Office.
Yeah, there you go.
The other one's Breaking Bad.
There you go. Those two right
Well
there.
done, Mark. Here we go.
Let's
There
go.
we go.
And honestly, I think I'm going to go back to just, it has to depend on the mood I'm in. If I want to laugh, I'm going to watch The Office. If I want to be on the edge of my seat, then I'm going to go with Breaking Bad. I'm going to say, I think Breaking Bad's the best show of all time.
Really?
And I was really late to the party on it. I remember I just watched it this past year in December. And I remember we talked a little bit about, I talked with Marc about it a little bit. And he was saying, "Oh, are you rewatching that?" I was like, "No, I'm watching it now for the first time."
Jeez.
And, no, I'll go with Breaking Bad. I think it's.
And Bryan Cranston in that, he's just unbelievable. Like,
yeah.
People don't give that guy his ratings. You know what I mean?
I've never
Bryan
seen it.
Cranston- What?
You've never
Of course,
seen it.
Mitch.
You should start it up
You
tonight.
should start it up. That's my main thing for you.
I
But,
thought I was the only one who had never
No, I've
seen it
never
up
seen
until I
it,
watched it. But
but Bryan Cranston in that show, you just see his heart's on his sleeve. He's just like everything. His transformation as a character, it's so much, and it means so much. But that's a great thing. So now we know if you want to swindle Pac over and you want to put him over, you got to give him some Dark Knight. You got to give him some Drake. You got to give him some Breaking Bad.
Breaking
That's
Bad
the key
or The
to
Office.
Pac's heart.
It's a
Mark,
two-horse
what's your
race.
TV show, man? I'm curious.
It depends how I feel. The Sopranos is never a bad choice.
I've never
Man,
seen
you
that.
like your retro, man. You go way back,
Exactly.
bro.
But if I'm gonna have to go to recently, for anybody that doesn't know, putting people on a new show, Sex Education. It has two seasons on Netflix. It's a British show, and it focuses every episode. So there's pretty much this guy named Otis, and his mom is a sex therapist, and the whole premise of the first season is he's never masturbated before. So for people that don't know, he's never masturbated before,
I've
and he's
never
having
masturbated
troubles
before.
talking to girls. But what he does have is this extreme knowledge that was passed down from his mom. So he starts a new company with this girl that he really likes, and they start selling sex advice on the side to everybody in the high school. And then, high schoolers don't know much about sex anyway, so mayhem then ensues. So if you want to get into a good show, I'd recommend Sex Education for anybody that's looking out. That'll be my little review corner on the side. You know what I mean?
Well, 2 cents for the episode. Wow.
Yeah.
So now, Mitch, I'm going to throw it to Mitch for the final question before we get into open book.
Open
But Mitch,
book.
Yeah, man. Right before open book, again, this goes into the relationship one, the more personal, even more personal than the pop culture question. You do have a girlfriend, correct, Paul?
Yes. Yeah.
How long have you guys been together?
Almost about a year and a half now.
Wow.
that's beautiful.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna take it back all the way to the beginning. All right,
Okay.
all the way to the beginning. And again, this is not a question for you because you've been out of
You've been out of the game.
out of the game is the word. Out of the game
Pac's
for a
been
year and a half.
retired.
But the
Yeah,
question
I
I'm
hung
gonna
up
ask
the
you is,
boots long ago.
should guys make the first move?
I'm not gonna say whether I'm not gonna give it a gender role saying this
Mhm.
gender should always do this.
Yeah.
I just think if you have a level of interest, then I don't think anything should really stop you from saying, I'm gonna wait to see what they do, or I'm just gonna play cool for now.
But
I think if you're interested, go for it.
Sometimes though, a lot of the girls, like if you look at like experiences from my experiences, a lot of the girls like, okay, let's say there's a girl that you like, and then you have feelings for it, and then you're interested. But sometimes, a new word that everybody's saying is, oh, you're simping up, you're simping,
Yeah.
you're gonna be doing this. Some of the guys are worried if they go approach too early with their feelings and they do that, then they're gonna be like, oh man, like then the girl rejects them. They sort of lost that. They sort of want to build that intrigue factor that like they don't need that girl in their life. What would you say to people like that though?
I don't know. It depends. It depends how deep you're in. If that
How
makes
deep
sense.
you're in,
If this is
What
something.
does that mean? What do you mean by how
What do you
deep?
mean by how deep you're in?
If this is like an all or nothing where it's like, man, I need this, then I think you gotta go for it.
Obviously.
The great Wayne Gretzky says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Look at the talk bring you back sports bet. It's the personal
Yeah, exactly.
section.
It's a full circle over here.
But let's just say sometimes you don't know 100%. Sometimes you see a sweet girl, but then you're like, I don't know. What if you're 75% sure? You know what I mean?
Like if you're not 100% sure, and if you think there's a chance that 3 weeks from now you're just gonna be like, you know what, whatever, then okay, you have some cause to just sort of play it cool, go with the flow. But I don't know.
Did you make the first move?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, look at
Come
this.
Oh, there you go.
Look at this. Come on.
Bro, come on. Bro, come on. Who can reject that face? Like,
Especially with the beard now, too. It
Beard
unlocks
that
a whole new dimension.
look at little like Marc there.
So there would have been no judgment, because I'm very curious about this. There would have been no judgment on your end if, let's say, the girl that you're with right now, I don't know her name, but like the girl that you're with right now, she then said she's the one that made the first move to you. Would that sort of like throw you off your game at all?
No, I think I just don't think that if the girl would be making the first move, that it would just really, change anything.
Exactly.
Sometimes I think that's even like, because it's viewed that like that's something that the guy should always be doing. I think if it's reversed, it's almost like, oh, okay, so it shows a bit more want, I guess, which could be good.
Oh, okay, so you're more of the belief of, I like Pac's old school. A lot of these guys, Pac is like, you go in, you do your job.
He's put it all on the line. Put it all on the line.
He's giving you that uncle advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pac is like, he's saying, do you? What should I do? I love the classic advice, but I feel like a lot of the times, guys nowadays, they've listened to this. The girls are like evolving now. It just feels like a different game. But maybe that's because Pac retired.
Maybe because I'm outdated. I don't know.
Marc, what do you mean by evolving?
I don't know. I just feel like there was a great meme on this that I found. It was pretty much like there was two guys. For any Star Wars fans out here, there were two guys looking out into the sunset, and then they were playing that like the one when Luke's looking out into this Tatooine sunset. And they're looking at it.
You can't give me any Star Wars references here. Haven't seen that either. So
okay, look at this. He hasn't watched Star Wars. He likes making the first move. Pac is going full 1966 on us.
Yeah, exactly. That's
full 1966. But I'm saying they're looking at a sunset pretty much, and they're saying, remember back in the day when just you went up to a girl and you said, I like you, and then that was it, But now social media sort of changed that. But I sort of get your phrase on it. I like that phrase. I wish people thought the way that you did, but a lot of people don't. But it's good to hear somebody that does.
I just think sometimes you got to go all in, put everything on the line. And, if you fail, you can always buy back in at the poker table. So
exactly. Got to go all in. So Mitch.
You got to quote that. Got to put that on a wall. Pac, right there.
Got to go all in.
What can I say?
So, Mitch, do you want to go segment over to Frankie, or do you want to go start explaining open book? What do you want?
Let's start with explaining open book first. So, we are moving into the open book segment of the show. Pac, you have watched it, correct? You watched the show?
I've watched a good amount of your second episode. I'm just going to
re-explain it to you, our open book segment, okay? And for any new viewers out there watching, this is an open book segment is for those who we want our guests to be more in a vulnerable situation, in the sense of express more, share more, get more personal, okay?
Okay.
So how it works is you will have the opportunity to choose Marc or myself and ask us any question you want. Any question.
Ooh, I should have been prepared with notes over
sports. Here. It can be about pop culture. It can be about relationships. It can be even personal than that. It can be literally
you can ask me like what color I like. It doesn't matter.
It can just
whatever
be anything.
You want to know. Whatever you want to know.
What do I want to know here?
But here's the thing. After you ask that person, either Marc or myself, we get to ask you a question.
Okay,
but it's in the exact same category. So, for instance, you give us a very personal question. We're hitting a very personal question right back to you.
Okay,
if you give us a sports question, we'll hit you with a sports question right back at you.
So I'm on the clock first.
You're on the clock, but we're going to give you a bit of time.
Exactly.
We're going to give you a bit of time to think.
We're going to give you a little time, Frank. We have our sponsor who actually sponsors this segment, the Open Book Segment. We have and I'm going to bring in our producer, Frankie, to tell you a little bit about that.
What's up, everyone?
What's up, Frankie?
So big shout out to our sponsors at Well. They're an all-natural vodka-infused lemonade, Canadian-made product. Can't go wrong. Absolutely love it. I know we've all been drinking it to get through this quarantine. And it's great. Available at your local LCBO. Go buy it. Go check it out. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
And it was only 90 calories, right, Frankie? Good
90 calories, so it's perfect for Mitch, because I know Mitch is a calorie counter over there.
Yes, I do calorie, but I appreciate it is actually really good, and like you said, low calorie. So
So Frankie, what are your thoughts? So you listen to Pac's answers. You listen to him stepping away from the game of hockey, his ideal dream weekend, his old school classic thoughts on dealing with girls. What do you have to say? What are your thoughts?
Well, first, I think that Pac is the classiest guy in sports media, if not one of them. Absolute gem.
Oh, that's a massive compliment.
This interview helps prove that. So first of all, views released April 29th, 2016. That is
look at this.
That is a Frank the Tank fact check right there.
Yes, sir.
I think Rocky 2 is the best Rocky, no question. That's my favorite Rocky. He wins the belt. He beats Apollo Creed. Can't beat that.
Can't disagree. Can't disagree there.
And then responding to Marc, Sex Education, goated show.
You already know.
I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I got invested in it. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of frustrating, but I got invested in it. I recommend.
I love it. So and, Frankie, that's producer's thoughts. I love that, Frankie.
Yes. And finally, I think that everyone should shoot their shot, whether you're a guy or a girl. I don't care. Exactly. If you like someone, go for it. I don't care.
Exactly. No need to beat around the bush.
Those are my thoughts. I
like it.
We appreciate that, Frankie, man. That's the producer's thoughts right there.
We love it.
And again, remember, it's in here at CBO. Go check it out.
All right, Zoom cut us off there a bit.
Yeah.
But now we're going into the big segment, as we were talking about before, open book. We've given Pac a bit of time,
and
a lot of time, a lot of extra time to think about it. So, Pac, who do you want to ask?
I'm going to go for Mitch.
Okay.
And my question is going to be.
Wait. Where are you going? Are you going sports? You're going personal?
It's going to be a personal question. Okay. A personal question. Earlier in the show, I was answering your questions, and I went on a bit of a spiel about how sometimes you just got to go all in. Mm-hmm. So I want to know from your experience, have you ever listened to my advice or used that sort of strategy and how it's worked? Because I need to know, because as Marc said, I'm a bit outdated in my methods. So
have you ever had to go all in? I think he's trying to say. Have you ever wanted to go all in?
Have you ever just put it all on the line,
So you're asking me, have I ever wanted to go all in?
Have you ever gone all on the line, is he trying to say?
Have you ever, as you guys were asking me, been the aggressor, made the first move and all that?
He knows.
Okay. I can answer that definitely. I could say making the first move, I usually do. But in the sense of talking about, you're saying me, have I ever gone all in or have thought someone, oh man, 100% I want all in?
Yeah, sure.
There has been a time where I did think that going all in with this one particular person, particular girl, end up not working out, sadly. But that's how it goes sometimes. But I do feel like if I did, I don't think I went 100% in though. I was more there but not there,
See, Mitch,
and because of that,
would you say based on what happened in the situation, I sort of vaguely know what happened, but I'm gonna ask you, did you ever feel that you actually, because Pac, when he said it with such aggression and vigor, he said, I went all in, I did that. Did you what is the percentage of you going all in? Because there's going all in and being like, hey, I'd like to take you out to the movies on Friday. And then,
event, though, you're talking about.
I mean, go all in.
Do you know this? I don't know if you know this.
Tell us.
What percentage?
Yeah, tell us, man. Come on, man.
I gotta go with 75, maybe.
Now, do you wish you went 100 on that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the question. That's what I'm really trying to get at over here.
I wish? Well, obviously, if you mean 100 as working out, hell yeah. I wish it did work out. I really do. But I feel like what I had in the situation I was in, which again, we're not going to explain the situation, it was the best I can do.
What Mitch is trying to say is go 100%, but if the circumstances sort of allow you to go 100%, but then if they don't, then maybe just go 75%.
Just do it, Nike.
I think just do it. So, Mitch, we know you go 75% all in, but now you have a question for Pac, don't you?
Well, don't tell me I go. In that instance, the one that we're talking about here, the most recent one, it was 75%. Usually I do go 100%. So don't call me Mr. 75%. I don't want that.
Of course.
But I do got a question for Pac, and it is on the personal level. And you bet I'm not going to say anything too risky.
Okay, that's fair.
We don't want any problems with the girlfriend on your front, you know? We don't want any.
Oh, wow, okay.
We don't want that. We want to make sure everything's good. We don't want that. So I'm going to go very basic, but not so. I want to know what is the most underrated trait in a girl, whether it be like your girlfriend, whether it be just a personality. Obviously, I think you found something with your girlfriend because you've been with her for a year and a half. But what do you think is the most underrated trait of a girl? Everyone usually says, oh, if it's looks-wise, oh, they got to have a nice body, eyes, smile, all that stuff. Personality-wise, it's like, oh, they're funny. You know, what is like? We want to know deep. What is the most underrated trait?
Okay, that's actually a pretty good question. I like that. I'm gonna say that, you know, I love hanging, you know, with my guy friends, you know, doing all that sort of stuff. Whether it's we're playing basketball, just watching a movie, stuff like that. But I think when you have that in another person, like let's say you're, you know, a girl that you're really close with, you see qualities of her that it's like, you know, when you're with them, you're just like hanging with one of your best friends. I think that's something that I think is really important, and you don't find that too often. There shouldn't be anything where it's like, oh, I don't want to do this, or no, I don't want to do that. I just think when it almost feels like more like a friendship, and they have sort of qualities where it's like you're just hanging out with them, and they're very relaxed. I think that's super underrated and also really important.
A main thing that I think people don't like are sort of gearing away from nowadays is like attention in a way. So let me explain what that means. Like sometimes, like obviously retired from the game, but like me and Mitch were still in the game. Sometimes you talk to a girl and then it's sort of just like when I talk to a girl, or my attention and anything, I want to focus on that person, you know? When I'm talking to Pac, I don't want to be thinking about Paulo. When I'm talking to Mitch, I don't want to be thinking about Frankie. You know what I mean?
I'm always thinking about Frankie.
So that's something exactly. So that's something that in a relationship I find very crucial is when you can actually like talk to them and you know that the conversation and the focus is on you and on them, you know? So that then you get real honest with the person and you get to really understand. But if you're worried about, oh, maybe she's talking to this guy, or maybe he's talking to this girl, or he's thinking about that, then you're never really going to create that bond. Am I right, Pac?
Yeah, no, 100% you are, Marc. And again, that's another thing with attention. That's also trust is really important. But of course, that goes without saying. But no, that's a pretty good question from Mitch there.
Yeah, but I get what you mean, though, because that's the exact same thing I think is underrated. If your girl is like your best friend, and I don't mean that as like, oh, she's your girl, she's your best friend kind of thing. You know, people say, like, oh,
yeah, that's kind of a cliche, I think.
It's a cliche. I mean, like you, as much as you, like that's why people say, oh, sometimes they chose their friends first and then they go the girlfriend, because you want to hang out with them first because you like who they are besides the looks, besides the sexual attraction, besides everything that comes with them being your girlfriend. So I completely agree with you, and that's I would think is the most underrated trait that I would say too is having actually that person as your best friend.
Yeah. So, look at me and Mitch agreeing on everything. Agreeing on everything.
Getting a little peeling the layers of what we need in a relationship. Yeah. So if you have focus and you're our best friend, you know, Mitch is
then you
right
should come
there.
on the Do I Want to Know podcast.
What about the Do I Want to Know podcast? You already know what I mean. But that's about it for this episode 3 of the Do I Want to Know podcast. What a great episode by the boys.
Yeah.
Pac, what do you think of it? So what did you think?
First off, I just want to thank you guys for having me on. It was a lot of fun. You guys did great, I think, on the Zoom call. But when this is all over and we get back on Ryerson campus, I'd love a call back, and I'd love to do this thing in the studio.
Look at that. Part 2.
It's already planning ahead.
Maybe October, maybe it's going to be sequel.
If you guys
it's a different feel.
Ryerson did say it's all online this year.
Not all.
No,
I think
we don't know for sure yet. There's
We'll see.
there's some
Play by ear.
technicalities to be figured out yet before we
We
know.
are a pretty small program, so
exactly.
if we do get into a
Who knows?
smaller group, like I think it might still count with whatever the number is going to be in September. So
the Zoom calls are here to stay, but we're glad for now. This is the sort of situation that we're sort of fit for, but it's great that we got Poc on to share his stories, his thoughts with us, and we're very appreciative of you. We want to also thank our producer, Frank the Tank Iatorno. Thank you, Frankie. You did a great job today. Any last thoughts for you, Frankie?
Shout out to our two hosts. They did a great job.
thank you.
And
Frankie.
of course, shout out to Poc, the guest.
Thank you.
Can't wait till the world resumes so we can all hang out again and do this again
Best
in the
day,
studio
Poc.
properly.
Best day.
Manjapane a Blaze.
Let's go, yeah.
Manjapane.
Manjapane and Blaze, exactly.
All right.
Listening.
All right, everyone.
We want to say thank you to all the audience. Subscribe, like, comment, follow on Instagram at Do I Want to Know Pod, at The Sport Board. And until next time,